Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our live session this morning here in the US. Today we be talking about the cost of living in the UK versus the cost of living in the United States. I was trying to include Canada to this, but the nurses in Canada that I have contacted, um, they were not available to respond to my messages. So today I will be limiting the discussion to the cost of living in the UK versus the cost of living in the US. And with me today is an August person that many of you might have known, Noskemi Blogs. So she will be joining us today um, to expatiate the life, how life is in the UK, and then how we'll be talking about, I will be comparing by speaking from my own experience in the US and other people's experience in the US. So, summarily, we'll be talking about the cost of living in these two countries, whether as nurses or as doctors or as carers or as normal immigrants. So kindly follow this live video, kindly stay tuned, kindly be present in this live video. So we are waiting for Noskemi Blogs to join us because she's trying to adjust her phone so that she'll be comfortable enough to participate in this program. Let's have some patience, okay?
Yeah.
I hope you're successful.
I think I'm better now.
Thank
Not
God.
so bad. I think my face is facing one side. we are going to manage it like that.
Okay, thank you. So let me officially welcome you to this program. And first of all, I want to appreciate you for availing yourself, out of no time, for giving your time, for being present in this program. I really appreciate your time. And I want to apologize for all our nurses, our members, our followers for not informing you ahead about this live session. So kindly accept our apology. So, Noskemi, is that the right appellation? So,
Noskemi Blog.
Noskemi Blog. So,
Not Bello is fine.
okay, not Bello. I would prefer that. So, the last time we spoke, we don't want to spend a lot of time on this session because of other assignments. So the highlights that we want to discuss under this topic, which is the cost of living in the UK versus the cost of living in the US. So the highlights are housing and mortgage. This includes rent, food, taxes, healthcare, transportation, and taxes, salary, and ease of getting jobs in the UK versus US, and education or schooling in the UK or US. So, and then let's start with housing, or maybe house rent, or apartment rent, or mortgage. So, how is the experience like in the UK when it comes to housing?
Yeah. Thank you very much for your question.
Yeah.
Like, before I could say anything, I have to say this, that it depends on the area that you have, you understand. For people that live in Northern Ireland, honestly, sometimes when I speak with them, when we had the discussion, and then they start telling me how much they are paying, so I feel like maybe I should just pack up my load and go to Northern Ireland. You understand? Even Scotland as well. So all what I'm going to be saying today is going to be based on, somebody that is living in England, because even Portsmouth that we are living here let me say, it's just, it's not too expensive and it's not less expensive. You understand? It's just at the middle. So, and I'm just going to be using Portsmouth anyway, but I can also compare to people that live in Northern Ireland, because I've got a friend there that we usually, speak about their own expenses as well. So maybe I'm going to be relating it to that place as well. And we also need to know that whatever I'm going to say here, I can't compare my own, expenses with somebody that live in London. You understand? So there's going to be differences. You understand what I mean? So that's it. So for somebody that lives in Portsmouth, for me, like we live in 2-bedroom apartments. Okay, I know of recent, everybody knows that everything is now expensive. So even accommodation in UK is now on the high side. So here we are going to be 3 years in this place by December. Yeah, but as first we. You understand? Which is excluding our other bills like council tax, water bills, electricity, gas, television license, things like that. But just for house rent is 895. But 2 months ago? No, a month ago, they increased it. They added £80 to it. You understand? So now we are paying £975 per month. Okay, and this is just 2-bedroom apartment. Though it's big, in fact, a lot of people, when they come to see or when they come to greet us in our house, they'll be like, "Oh, your house is big," things like that. So at least, but if you want to, the ranges for 2-bedroom apartments in Portsmouth start between, let's say, it ranges between £850 to £1,000 per month.
Wow.
850 to 1,000. That's for 2-bedroom apartments. Okay, if you are not living in a Portsmouth council house, because for people that live in council house, they pay cheaper. You understand?
Yeah.
So I've got a friend that live in council house, and I think she pay 650 for 2-bedroom apartments. You understand, for flats. So that's it. And then if you want to rent like 3-bedroom apartments, then you are going to start as it is now. Let me just say 1,003. Before it can be from 1,000 to 1,005, but as it is now, I can say maybe 1,002 to 1,006. So that is it for the for the house. Then now, depending on where you are living, if it's somewhere that is very, very far to city, it might be less expensive, compared to what I've said. But if you live where we are living is in fact, we are very close to city center. You understand? We are very close to North End, where the people like shops. So if you live somewhere closer to shops, then you might be paying more if you are not living in city council's house. You understand? I mean, Portsmouth council house. You understand what I mean?
Good. So, you still have more to say on the housing?
Yeah. So basically, that's just it. For somebody that lives in Portsmouth, you understand? So for somebody that lives in Northern Ireland, like a friend of mine told me that she pay for 2-bedroom apartment, she pay like £550 per month. You understand? So even though with what she said, depending on the area, that you can get £600 per month in Northern Ireland as well. So it all depends on where the person is living.
Thank you very much for that. In the US, generally, house is expensive, relatively, and it depends on the state and the area, like you have said. So, for instance, in California, house is very, very expensive. In New York, house is very, very expensive. And for instance, in New York, people who live in the outskirts of New York may pay less than people who live in the city of New York. I stay in Virginia, and we live near we're in Richmond, in Virginia. So the house rent in Richmond, for instance, because it is closer to the states, the capital of Virginia, so it's just around $2,000. And if you want to rent a two-bedroom apartment, from what I'm seeing here, the range is between $1,475 and $2,210. And that $2,210 is the minimum. It's just in the low. So
Exactly.
the highest I have seen so far for two-bedroom apartment is $3,700. And then I'm also seeing $6,000 per month. So this shows the caliber of people who live, in Richmond. People who are executives, people who are experts, people who are earning high. So, but where we are, you can still see rent of $1,500 per month. $1,500 per month. You can see $1,700 per month. So, but if you go to Petersburg is another city in Virginia. When we're in Petersburg, so we were paying for two-bedroom apartment. We were paying like $1,020. That was 2 years ago, $1,020. But now it has increased. So the last time I went there just to inquire about the current rent, it was about $1,200. So I have sister-like friends that live in Petersburg, and they told me that they have doubled. They have increased the rent to like $1,500. So because of the inflation going on now, house rent is expensive. So what people are doing now in US generally is that once you have a job and your salary is constant, so you can opt in for mortgage, because with mortgage you will be paying almost the same thing you are paying for house rent. So why not buy a house and pay mortgage? And once you are working at least for 1 year and you are resident in a place for 1 year and your job is permanent, so you are eligible to apply for mortgage. And they have also made it simple for people to have house, to buy house here. So you can sometimes the let's say company or lender we ask you not to pay anything. Not to not to deposit any amount.
Really?
Yeah. So if you don't have money but you have a job, a job where you receive a constant salary. So there are some lenders or companies that will allow you to buy a house without any deposit. But majority of companies want you to deposit at least maybe from 3% of the total amount of the house to like 25%. You can even pay 50%. So the less deposits you make, the higher the interest. No, the interest may be fixed or not fixed, but the less you pay for the deposits, the more you pay per month for your mortgage. For instance, if you pay for, let's say, a house, maybe a three-bedroom apartment for a family of four, costs like $450,000, and you pay 3% of that amount. So that means you're going to pay more for your mortgage per month. But if your deposit is very high, like out of the $450,000, you pay 25% deposit or you pay 50% deposit. So your monthly mortgage payment will be lesser. So that is how it works here. So people prefer to buy house because it is very easy to buy house once you have a stable job, a stable income, and your credit score is okay. So you'll be able to buy house of your dream. So that is about mortgage and housing, house rent. But what can you say about mortgage in the UK? Is it the same thing?
Honestly, with what you've just said, I think US wants everybody to have a house.
Yeah,
Honestly. Okay, for we haven't, mortgage, so we are still paying for rent.
yeah,
But with somebody that I've, spoke, we had a discussion about this mortgage of a thing, and this is exactly the information I had from her. Okay, so depending on the type of house you want to buy, let's say if you want to buy maybe an old house,
yeah,
okay, can be less expensive.
yes,
But if you want to buy new house,
yeah,
okay, so if you want to buy new house, then it will be a little bit expensive.
yeah.
Now, houses in UK. I know in US you have, your houses are big in US, but in UK, one of the disadvantages, just as in very small houses, very, very small. But even at that, they are still very expensive.
Hmm.
So for somebody the person I spoke with, they bought 3 bedroom apartments, okay, like a house.
Yeah.
So that house they bought it for like 385,000
Wow.
pounds
Pounds.
exactly.
Hmm.
And during their own time, because I'm going to be telling you, because it's been 2 years now that they bought it, and she now compare it with somebody who just did their own mortgage, you understand?
Yeah.
Now, so with their own, they said then they were still using lenders,
Okay.
you understand? So they only paid 5%.
Percent. Yeah.
Exactly. And then they calculated it. And with what she said they did 2 years mortgage. Then after that, they're gonna do another remortgage where the money they are paying per month is gonna be, it might reduce or increase depending,
We call it a
because you know that.
refinancing. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also depending on the economy, status. Like if everything, like now, with what she told me, definitely it's going to be increased because everything is expensive now. You understand?
Yeah.
So depending on, and they can also change their lender according to what she said. She said
Wow.
after that 2 years, if they've gotten another lender that is less expensive to the one they are paying, they can actually change, to another person. You understand? But
Okay.
it's going to be another mortgage anyway.
Mhm.
Now, but with what is going on currently, they've stopped lenders.
Wow.
What exactly? That's the reason why I said even in US that you only pay 3%. Now you pay 10%. And so if you are buying a house of 400,000 pounds, you are going to pay 40,000 pounds
That's a
before
lot of
you can.
money. Wow.
UK is advanced Niger, honestly. So you
Hmm.
will pay
Hmm.
40,000
Wow.
pounds. Yes, that's what those people pay. And then with that person I told you, they said they are paying at the moment, they are paying 1,098 pounds. Okay? 1,098 pounds per month. But at the moment, with those people, they are paying between 2,000 to 2,500 every month.
2,500. Wow. That can buy.
Including, well,
That can buy
before
a
they
land
were
in Nigeria.
they are paying 2,000, but including their council tax, their electricity and every other thing, and then insurance, obviously,
Yeah,
right? If you guys
insurance.
are
Yeah.
insurance, yeah, they said they are paying about 215 pounds for insurance every month.
But
So
the insurance here for housing here is per year. No, sorry,
mhm,
per month. Is per month.
it's
So,
per
but
month. So
the company pay for the insurance. Once you buy the house, so the company will take over to pay on your behalf for the insurance, even for the taxes.
no, there's
So,
nothing like
but
that here in UK.
sometimes some companies will want the buyers to pay for the insurance themselves. So most people pay for the insurance themselves, but some companies will pay on behalf of the buyers. Yeah.
So now it is now the buyer that will now give you the mortgage advisors that will help you to look for bank that can lend you
Yeah.
that can support you with the money. But as it is with what the new person now, that person that I think they are moving in by maybe next month. So she said, with what she told me, she said they're gonna be paying 2,059 50 pound, but calculating the their council tax, their water bill, every other thing. So they added everything up and they said, okay, maybe between 2,400 to 2,500. And some electricity and even gas, you can't say it's not fixed, depending on the thing here, depending on the amount that you use. So that is it for now. It's very, very tough to get
Hmm.
to buy. Well, like I said, with that my friend, I think they bought their own house in London Island for like maybe 250, between 250 to 300. I don't even think it's up to 300. So with that, they're paying less, because that's not expensive. But in Portsmouth here, in fact, it's a new house. And even if you want to buy old house too, you can't get nothing less than maybe 300, or maybe 280 or 300 thousand pounds.
I have a
So
friend here at work. She told me that she just bought a house.
mm,
So, and the way she told me the amount, she bought a house $1,400,000. I was like, where did you get that money? Where did you get that $1,400,000? And she deposited $400,000.
hmm,
Yeah, she showed
money
me the
deal.
house. I was like, but the house, it's not a new house. I mean, someone that had lived there before. So, but the house has everything, like stream. You can go for fishing. You can do whatever you want to do. It has a big compound, a big farm. Everything is there. But $1,400,000. I now asked her that how much will we pay you per month for mortgage? That would be I can't even say it because that's a lot of money.
That's gonna be a lot. That's
So
gonna But for somebody that bought 400,000 pound house and then paying every month, paying between 2,000 2,005, my brother, that's it. Even in UK, that's a lot. So
hmm,
that means both of you have to be working, like,
yeah,
because by the time
yeah,
you even after you pay your you pay everything, you are still gonna eat. You still want to people are still home. They will tell you, you have to send something to me. At the same time, even your kids, if they need something, you have to do it. You also want to look good and do some. It's not even only the mortgage that you're paying for. Are you not going to do
yeah,
another thing? You
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
And then there's even your car too, you have to pay for insurance. You have to do all other things like that. So it's a lot,
A
my
lot.
dear brother.
Like
So
someone
in
was
fact,
telling me, a friend of mine was telling me, I think she's from Nigeria as well. She was telling me that a nurse from Nigeria just came to the United States after spending like a year or maybe 2 years. She bought a good house. In the USA, whatever you want to have, they will give it to you.
hmm,
They will give it
hmm,
to you. So it's not left for you to pay. I mean, nobody will ask you. You
of
understand?
course,
So they will
of
give it
course.
to you. So this nurse bought, she bought a very good apartment, a very good house.
Oh, wow.
You know what she told me? She told me that this nurse cannot even sleep in that house
Why?
because she has to work extra to pay.
That's it.
She has to
That
work
that
overtime
in
to
fact,
pay. She cannot
I'm
stay.
telling
She cannot
I'm
sleep.
I'm telling you, my
So,
brother. That's why you just have to. You see,
hmm,
these people. I know they've been in UK. Even the first person I told that is paying 1,098 pound per month. That one, at least they bought their house before they reached 3 years in UK.
okay.
So, and then with what she told me, she was like, "Oh, you guys should quickly do your mortgage and everything." And then when we sat down, when we had the discussion with her, we said, "Is this what we are going to be paying back?" So that means we just have to we have to work ourselves out, because with the way things is, even with 2005, me and my husband, we cannot afford it for now. Because if, for example, we've got kids, for me, I do three days in a week.
except for now, I have my father-in-law is around. At least we can leave the kids with them, do night. I did night, even I did night yesterday.
Hmm.
So, if they are not here with us, there's no how we are going to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to do my own 36 hours. My husband too has to do his own 37.5 hours. So extra is not sure if we don't
Hmm.
have somebody to stay with the kids.
Yeah.
So, and then looking at our salary, if we don't do extra, we cannot afford to pay this amount of
Yeah.
money. Are we not going to eat? Are we not going to do any other thing from,
Hmm. Yeah.
you've got a lot of things on your head. So
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. I think with what you've said, US want everybody to have a house.
But
And the truth is here in
yes, you are
UK,
right.
they must
US want everyone to have a house, but
mm, hmm,
it's more or less
there's
like they
a
are
but.
making people. They are keeping people in debt.
Exactly.
It's a
This
system
one
like
too,
you have to
they're
work
gonna pay for
extra.
29 years.
Yeah, you have to work extra to pay for that mortgage. So now who is benefiting? The government is benefiting because the more you work, the more taxes you pay. And if you don't work extra, you can't pay for your mortgage. So it's like a trap.
I'm telling
It's like
you.
a trap.
Hmm.
So what is your advice, for people who are just newly present in the UK? Because I used to tell people that if you're in the US, just take your time. Don't rush. Take your time. Study the environment. Don't do
Hmm.
what you cannot pay, or you have to be looking for extra hours, extra shifts to pay for your house rent. You
Hmm.
have you have kids, you have other commitments. So how are you going to even have time for your own stuff? So I tell people that some people will say, someone just came about a few months ago and said, I want to buy my house. So you just
Hmm.
like take your time and buy what you can
Exactly.
afford to pay.
Hmm.
And boss,
Hmm.
he advised me that if I want to buy a house, I should buy a multi-family house. That even if I'm staying, the multi-family house means that you and your family can stay there,
Okay.
and you can also rent it out.
Wow.
So while you rent it out, the tenant will be the ones to pay for your mortgage.
Hmm.
So it's like
Hmm.
making investment. So instead of buying a house that only you will be staying, why not buy a house that you can rent out? You can rent a
Hmm.
part out or sublet out so that you'll be earning income from that. And that one will be also paying for your mortgage. Like for instance, if you are paying a mortgage of 1,500 per month and you have a
Hmm.
tenant, so and tenant is paying like $1,000 per month, so you just add $500 to
Exactly.
it
You won't
and
feel the 500 at
make it
all.
easier. And
Hmm.
for people who are just new in the US, like it's very very difficult to survive when you are newly present in the US, even the UK. So what I
Exactly.
have seen people do is that, like nurses, for instance, they look for nurses like themselves to share an apartment.
Hmm.
For instance, I have seen three Nigerians, Igbo, Yoruba, living together. Let's say the house rent is $1,500 per month. So they just
Hmm.
share it among themselves, which is
Hmm.
very, very economical and
Exactly.
but some people don't want to share,
Hmm.
room. So that is my advice.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, with what you have said, in fact, I won't lie to you. There are some things that when you don't know, you feel like it's that easy.
Yeah.
But when you ask question, or you now have knowledge about that particular thing, then you begin to think that, oh, is this how difficult this thing is? Honestly, I don't even know that this mortgage of a thing, even in UK, is this expensive. Honestly, I won't lie to you. But the only thing I'm going to advise people is this: just plan yourself. Look at your earnings.
Yeah.
If your earning is not correlating with what you're going to be paying back,
Yeah.
and these people, you must pay. You have to pay.
No story.
Oh my God. It's not like Nigeria that you will say, oh, Baba Kidiko, I'm so sorry, I will not be able to pay my house rent this month. Can you please give me? There's nothing like that with these people. They are so
Mm.
strict with money. So my own advice is plan yourself, look at your income. If you are okay and you think even after paying that you will be fine, Well, for me, even as expensive as it is, we are still looking forward to it, and hopefully, maybe because the truth is everything is getting expensive day
Yeah.
by day. It's not coming down; it's just going up. So it's better you do whatever you want to do. So that's just my own advice. Look at your earnings. Is it correlated? Can you work? Can you sort it out? Is it going to work? Because you have to remember you have kids. You need to calculate that 4 years. I said no. 4 years is too much. Please remove 5 years
Hmm.
out of it, unless So that's just my own advice. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.